Hey, what's up guys? I hope you watched my video the other day on how to plan your goals for 2021. This video is going to talk about how to actually achieve those goals now that you've planned. So if you haven't watched that video yet, when you're done with this, go check it out, or you can check that out and then come back. Either way, you're going to want to watch both so that you know not only how to plan your goals, but how to ensure that you actually achieve those things, because otherwise you're going to end up like every other, New Year's resolutioner who, oh, I'm going to lose 50 pounds in the next 30 days, and then they go to the gym once and quit. You don't want to be that person, right? And there's a few tips and tricks that I've learned over the years for how to actually help yourself achieve these goals, and I want to share them with you in this short video. If you watched the other one already, you'll notice that I'm back in the little cabin. I was up on a mountain when I recorded that one via cell phone. Got a lot of technology. And so I'm back now. I'm warmed up for the most part and gonna do this, and then I'm gonna actually give a Veterans Day presentation to some people in Hawaii, and then go get some food. This little Think Trip thing is awesome. I've got a ton of reading done, a lot of journaling, really figuring out vision and my goals and stuff like that. So it's been really good. I highly recommend you take one, but I digress. Check this out. In the last video, we touched base on setting, 1 year, 90 day, but breaking your goals down into month and then week, and then I hinted at it, but you need to make sure that every week at the same time you sit down and you write out your weekly plan. You need to figure out what you're going to accomplish that week, what you need to do to move the needle forward, what the most important next step is, and then you need to do it. And you should do that every day, honestly, but at least at the beginning of the week, you need to plan out the week and figure out like what your biggest thing, most important next step is to accomplishing your goals. And then once you figure that out, then you know, okay, I'm going to schedule that on Wednesday. Perfect. And then Tuesday night, to write down you're going to do this on Wednesday and then make it happen on Wednesday, right? You can't make promises to yourself and then not keep them. You've got to follow through on what you say you're going to do. That's important. And then every morning, you should wake up and write out what that big goal is, what the most important next step is you can take that day, and then move the needle forward that day towards it. So let's say your 90-day goal is to buy a house, and your 1 week goal to move that needle forward is to write an offer. Then perhaps your daily most important next step would be to analyze 5 deals every day so that you can find something to write an offer on, right? So something like that, right? Something to break it down, like this is the most important thing to get this weekly thing done, to get this 90-day thing done. And you need to, I would kind of plan it ahead. So like the night prior, plan out kind of what you're looking to do the next day. And then the morning of, I would sit down and I write out my goal and what I plan to do that day to move the needle closer to accomplishing that goal. And that is what I absolutely recommend that you do as well. And then you want to schedule that task first thing in the morning, right? If the most important thing for you to do is to analyze 5 deals, you don't want to put that off until like 9:30 at night, because then, the day, stuff might come up and you may not get to it, or maybe you find yourself doing it way later in the day than you wanted, especially if this is something time-bound, right? Like if it's, writing an offer, you're not going to want to write an offer at 10 at night. You're going to want to write the offer earlier in the day so that it actually gets looked at that day, right? So just food for thought. But I like to try to schedule that thing first thing in the morning. That's why I wake up at 4:30 every day, or try to, and so that I have that time before work to knock out a big task. Maybe that's edit a video for me, right? Or maybe it's record a podcast. I've recorded a lot of podcasts that early in the morning. It could really be anything. So whatever that most important next step is, or just that one task that you think like, this is the thing I got to do today, make sure you knock it out early in the morning. That way, the whole rest of the day could go to shit, and you've already accomplished the one thing that actually mattered. Like, I like to focus on like winning my day. So I'll say like, these 3 things are the 3 things I have to do today. If I get those 3 things done, even if I have 700 other things to do, I got those 3 things done, I won the day. Bingo, bango. But, if you don't, because otherwise you're going to find yourself making a million different things that you want to do for the day, and then maybe you get some of them done and you still don't feel accomplished because you had a million things to do. So you want to make sure you give yourself permission to acknowledge, hey, if I get these things done, then I won the day. Congrats for me. Go to sleep well, get rested for the next day. The next biggest thing you could do, and probably the biggest deciding factor, is to surround yourself with like-minded people who will hold you accountable, right? So the thing that separates people from achieving their goal, from those who don't, like, if you just say you're going to do something, you might. If you say you're going to do it, and you say what time you're going to do it, you have a much higher likelihood of actually accomplishing that. That's why you write down when you're going to accomplish that goal. But if you say you're going to do something, and you say when you're going to do it, and then you tell somebody about it, research shows that you are way, and I don't have the study up or in this cabin, but I mean like way, just a lot more likely to accomplish your goal. We're talking like the difference between like 30% and like 80, 90%, right? Huge differences just by telling people, especially if they hold you accountable, right? And so my favorite way to do this is mastermind groups. That's actually why we built the War Room Real Estate Mastermind Group for service members and veterans, so that people who have goals or want to set goals can be pulled into this group of like-minded people that will hold them accountable to achieving their goals. Because if you tell those people and you know, like, oh, if I show up to this meeting and I didn't achieve the thing I said I was going to do, they're going to hate, they're going to make fun of me or whatever, right? Some groups even have like a monetary, like you got to pay $100 if you don't accomplish what you said you were going to do. Like whatever you want to set up. But you've got to have that system that implies that you will be held accountable with people who will actually challenge you to get better and will challenge you if you're making excuses. Those are the people you want to surround yourself with. And then you have to believe that you're going to achieve those goals, right? Like, you have to believe it. And I struggle with this one myself. Like, I've found myself saying, like, one of my goals for the end of 2021 is $7,500 a month in passive income. That's a stretch goal. And that's like net. And I, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I said it out loud. I was like, yeah, this is my goal. And I almost, like, I could feel myself wanting to make excuses about why I wasn't going to achieve it before I even said it, right? And at least I noticed that, and some of them called me out on it as well. But you need to be aware of those things. Don't hold yourself back. Don't limit yourself. Believe that you can achieve it. Focus on it. This is why we recommend writing your goals down every day and looking at them and having a vision board, which is another video that I created a few weeks ago that you need to watch. And having that vision board where you're looking at it, you're telling yourself what it's going to be like to achieve those things, and you're really focusing in on it and focusing on achieving your goals and believing. The more you tell yourself that you're going to do this and what it's going to look like, the more your mind believes it and buys into it. And the more that happens, the more likely you are to achieve those goals. So the more you believe you'll achieve it, the more you will actually achieve, right? And I tell you, vision board and all this, whimsical goal stuff really does work, as weird as it might sound. I've achieved some goals that I would have never believed were possible just by really just saying them, having people hold me accountable to them, and visualizing what it's going to be like, right? And just believing that they're going to happen. We've already touched on this, but every morning you should journal about your goals. And you need to journal about what you're going to do that day to accomplish it. And then every night before you go to bed, you should review your goals, read them again. Maybe you say them out loud. Maybe you just write them again. Whatever it is, just visualize your goals and what it's going to be like once you've achieved it. So you want to visualize like after the fact. Not visualize how you're going to achieve it. Visualize what it's going to feel like to own that rental. What it's going to feel like to have that passive income, whatever that goal is. I've already talked about this, but you should create a vision board. I'll link to the video down below. Check that out. Vision boards are awesome. I highly recommend it. If nothing else, it gives you a chance to kind of put your thoughts out on paper, or I even have one on my cell phone as well as everything else. And then maintain consistency consistently, right? Like, actually journal these goals every day. Actually write them out. Actually visualize them. Actually think about these goals every day. And actually hang out with people who will hold you accountable and maintain that accountability, right? Like, the biggest thing you can do is create this momentum. So if your goal is to work out every day of the year, instead of setting a goal to work out every day of the year, just focus on, I'm going to work out at this time on Monday. I'm going to work out on this time on Tuesday. I'm going to work out at this time on Wednesday. And set up, there's like a habit process, right? You can set up like a reward and all that, but we're not going to dig into the habit process so much as just understanding that if you set those goals, you need to get around people who hold yourself accountable, but you also need to just not lie to yourself, right? Like, if you tell yourself you're going to accomplish something and then you slack off, like you sleep in or whatever, like, you're lying to yourself, and you need to treat it as such. So I hope this helped, and I look forward to hearing about how you guys are achieving your goals. What tricks do you use to make sure you achieve your goals? Post them down below. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Smash that little like button, the little notification bell, so you get notified about new content that we're coming out with. Have a great freaking day.